In summary then, in order to diffuse volatile conflict, I am suggesting that number one, we enter into the mindset and worldview of the other and suspend judgment in order to do so. And secondly, to recognize and respect the doorstep rule, which is that my rights end at your doorstep and yours end at mine. One way to think about a conflict is to focus on whether or not a particular perspective or point of view reflects an understanding of the adversary's thought process and/or experience. To illustrate how the scripted view is used, consider Michael Oren's response to a Time magazine cover story entitled "Why Israel Doesn't Care About Peace." Oren's title is "Why Israelis Care About Peace," and it appeared in the Los Angeles Times on September 5, 2010. To show his frustration, Michael Oren writes, "We withdrew our troops from Lebanon and the Gaza Strip in order to generate peace, and instead received thousands of missiles crashing into our homes." One should note, and this is Jim Dinellen talking, that the reference to thousands of missiles is a frequently used mantra, and it tends to justify the victim role that AIPAC and the Israeli government like to play. While no one denies the fear that such attacks create, it should also be pointed out that the actual damage and death toll has been slight, especially when compared to the Gaza invasion. Matt Duss, who is a researcher and blogger at American Progress and whose articles have appeared in a number of national periodicals, and as well he has appeared as a commentator on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, and Al Jazeera, responded in depth to Michael Oren's editorial. He starts by saying, "I understand that it's Oren's job as ambassador to offer the Israeli point of view, but framing the issue as, open quotes, Israeli mothers want peace, Palestinian mothers want death for their children, close quotes, is pretty disgusting." Duss continues, "Is there a deeply objectionable culture of martyrdom rooted in Palestinian society? Yes, there is. It's amazing what decades of being treated like cattle can do to a people." Oren asks us to sympathize with the Israeli experience of living under terrorist threat, and I completely agree that we should. But so should we try to understand the Palestinian experience of having their daily lives prescribed by a brutal and Byzantine system of military law designed specifically to divest them of their land and prevent them from securing their national rights. As for the idea that Israel withdrew from Gaza in order to generate peace, this claim has been so conclusively discredited that I'm actually stunned that Oren thinks he can get away with it. Ariel Sharon withdrew from Gaza explicitly in order to forestall peace. Or, as his senior advisor Dov Weissglass put it in Haaretz, the significance of the Gaza disengagement plan is the freezing of the peace process. And when you freeze that process, you prevent the establishment of a Palestinian state, and you prevent a discussion on the refugees, the borders, and Jerusalem. Effectively, this whole package called the Palestinian state, with all that it entails, has been removed indefinitely from our agenda. And all this with authority and permission. All with a presidential blessing and the ratification of both houses of Congress. The disengagement is actually formaldehyde, he said. It supplies the amount of formaldehyde that is necessary so there will not be a political process with the Palestinians. So either Weissglass was lying then, and the Gaza withdrawal was actually a clever triple bank shot attempt by Ariel Sharon, a lifelong opponent of the peace process, to move the peace process forward, or Oren isn't being straight now. Oren continues that most Israelis are still willing to take incalculable risks for peace. The proposed Palestinian state would border their biggest cities, and are still willing to share their ancestral homeland with a people that has repeatedly tried to destroy them is nothing short of miraculous. I have to comment on this one. Let us return to the comments made by David Ben-Gurion. We stole their country. How do you share something that you stole without acknowledging and reconciling this first offense? The current count is that there are 4.7 million refugees from their homeland, and they have been in this state since 1948. Would any human being be able to overlook this? In closing, some thoughts. In my experience, the American Jewish community often represented the best that is within us. It has been a significant player in speaking out against the excesses of governments and the abuses of power, and it has been an outspoken advocate for the rights of minorities, the downtrodden, and the unfairly maligned. Its culture is known for its ability to invite and reflect upon multiple points of view on a volatile issue. Such a tradition has given us today peace organizations like Brit Tzedek V'Shalom, political organizations like J Street, diverse spiritual groups like the Network of Spiritual Progressives, websites like that of Mondoweiss, blogs such as Jerome Slater's, and political commentary like that found in Michael Lerner's Tikkun. This progressive posture is mirrored in the cultural Zionism of Ahad Ha'am, the emphasis on dialogue by Martin Buber, and the push for reconciliation with the Arabs by Judah Magnus. It is conspicuous for its absence in the audacity and behavior of the Israeli government, as well as in the rhetoric and lobbying efforts of AIPAC. The problem that we see playing out in the Middle East is, however, not unique to Jews. Rather, it is a fundamentally human one that in an inspirational way is framed in Bob Dylan's Blowin' in the Wind. The tension emanating from conflict between Palestinians and Israelis reflects a constantly recurring theme in human behavior. We have two choices here. First, we can seize this opportunity to move above the volatile issues through the dialogical paradigm of Martin Buber, or we can become yet again the victims of human frailty. There is no place here for holier-than-thou posturing. Rather, this is an opportunity to put our highest spiritual values to the test. We begin then with a decision. Is this to be an I-thou relationship or an I-it one? Authentic dialogue offers the promise of I-thou. It is in this spirit that the videos which follow are offered.